Hello, and welcome to the show. This is Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. Thank you for joining me. Fresh off a trip to Knoxville, Tennessee. What's up, everybody? Doing all right? Sunday night, Alabama 8-0 now on the season after thrashing the Tennessee Volunteers. Had a good time in Knoxville, to be honest. Got to check out Neyland Stadium for the first time. Big stadium, big crowd. Out to see the Alabama Crimson Tide do their thing, and got a great show lined up for you today. Want to talk to you about Nick Saban's comments. We'll play those here in a second, just on the live stream. We'll also play Tua Tagovailoa's press conference, and young man carries himself so well. We'll talk about the offensive stats against Tennessee as well as the defensive stats. We'll also look at the grade outs, as I always show the offensive and defensive grade outs. I hand out some game balls, and we can catch all our coverage back on BamaInsider.com. Please let me know where you're joining from in the comment box, and I'll take your calls in just a little bit at 205-686-3604. I want to show you guys, there's great stuff on following the game. As you know, after Alabama beats Tennessee, everybody's smoking the cigars, the victory cigars. Here are some of the best photos I was able to find after the game. It's Christian Miller, Damien Harris, Jay Mosley. How about this one? This one's going around the world on Twitter. Butch Jones, a former coach at Tennessee, never been able to smoke a cigar, now lighting it up with Chris Owens of Alabama. Mac Wilson getting in with Butch Jones as well. It's Christian Barmore, Alabama's true freshman, with Mac Wilson. Whole squad smoking cigars following the victory against Tennessee. Good stuff. It's this team, I don't know. I mean, who's going to challenge these guys? LSU? Maybe, right? Games in Baton Rouge, I'll be down there. What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. Now, unofficial assistant, no, he's got a knack for putting out those videos. Got a lot of respect for everybody on YouTube trying to do their own thing. That's good stuff. No, those videos are hilarious. I love them. Good stuff all the way around. Thanks for joining us. It's Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Got a great show lined up for you today. And as I always do, let's see what the coach has to say. It's a little Nick Saban. Nick Saban following Tennessee. Here's the coach.
Well, I'm really proud of our players, the way we played in this game. This is always a tough game. It's a tough time of the year, 8 games in a row, and I thought they responded really well. I thought we really controlled the game in the second half. The defense played pretty well in the second half. We were able to run the ball and take the air out of it a little bit. We still made some explosive plays in the first half. I think you got to give Tennessee's players a lot of credit. They really play hard. They fight you. They got a lot of resiliency, and Jeremy's doing a really good job with them from that standpoint. They had a really good plan against us. They had us a little confused in the second quarter, and played nickel in the second half against some of the stuff and was able to adjust out a little bit better. But Tua had a good day, and everybody's going to want to know he's fine. He could have went back in the game if he needed to go back in the game, but we're about ready to put Jalen in anyway. I'm just really pleased. A lot of guys having a lot of fun in the locker room. It's always good to see the players, have fun. They love the tradition of this game. It was good to see Butch Jones get dumped on, out there. I know he was happy, and he's done a great job for us, and we really appreciate, the things that he's done to help our program as well. So all around, great win. Obviously, coming up with the bye week, we've got lots of things to work on, lots of things to improve on. Even today, a lot of good things, but also some things that we need to do better. Continue to make mistakes in critical times, whether it's the bust on the flea flicker or whatever it is, to give up big plays, and we're going to be in more challenging games. I think it's always the situation. We've been 8-0 at this point quite a few times, but it's all about how you finish. And this bye week is a good time for us to try to improve so we have a better chance to finish like we want to finish and face the challenges that we have, coming up in the future. So that's going to be the goal for this week. Players will get a little time off. We got some guys nicked up. They'll get some time off, but try to develop more depth on our team as well.
Questions? You don't normally get a chance to watch the offensive live, but his first impression on Deonte Brown?
I can't even give you one. I mean, it's not a very good view from the sidelines. He had a really good week of practice. I know the plan was to watch him upstairs. He and Lester are kind of competing at that position. Lester sprained his ankle and bothered him a little bit last week, so Deonte got an opportunity, and from everything that I heard from upstairs, they were pleased with the way he played.
What did you think about the defense early turnover, 3 and out, the way they set the tone?
Well, I think it was important. It's always important when you play on the road to take the crowd out of the game a little bit, and I think we had, 3 and outs. So that was really, really good. But we got to be able to sort of sustain that, maintain that kind of intensity in the game. And, in the second quarter, I didn't think we played as well. They scored 2 touchdowns, and it gave them an opportunity to get back in the game. And we got to cut some of those things out.
Questions?
What you see from Josh Jacobs out there, particularly in that first quarter, that first half?
Yeah, well, Josh started the game today. We had 2 guys that Raekwon didn't play in the first half, and Damien didn't start for internal reasons. Let's just put it that way. And but Josh did a really good job, and I thought Najee played well when he played, ran the ball well, and I've been very pleased with all of our running backs this year and the job that they've done.
Can you speak to the decision to make a change at punter?
I'm sorry?
Can you speak to the decision to make a change at punter?
Well, nobody's entitled to a job. Everybody's in competition. We need to help the other guy who has a lot of talent become a better punter. And I think he gets a little anxious in the game and sort of loses his technique a little bit. So give him some time to cool off a little bit. Maybe that'll help him see things from a little different perspective. But I also thought Mike did a pretty good job tonight as well.
Coach, kind of touching on.
All right, that was Nick Saban speaking following Alabama's victory over Tennessee. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Thank you for joining us tonight. Wanted to also play a clip of Tua Tagovailoa, Alabama's starting quarterback. Got a chance to catch up with him after the Tennessee game. I was in the media scrum holding up the camera way up in there. I should do a behind the scenes after the game for you guys so you could see what we do to bring you the footage. It's insane. Let me try to paint this picture for you, okay? They bring Tua out. This is following the game. He comes out. It's in the back of Neyland Stadium. You're down on the ground. And you're like waiting. Is Tua going to come out? Is Tua going to come out? Because all the reporters want Tua to come out so they can get like the upfront shot. So here comes Tua. He's out to the back of the stadium. And I'm not kidding you. There's probably 40 media members that are surrounding him. And I mean, up close, tight in his grill. I'm up there with the camera, the microphone, trying to get the best audio for you guys. Then you're holding the camera up there for 7 minutes, hoping it doesn't shake. It's hectic sometimes. But here is your quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, speaking after Alabama thrashes Tennessee. Here you go.
We didn't execute as well as we wanted to offensively. I think we had 2 or 3 drives where we just didn't give the defense, time to regroup and whatnot. So, this is where we just go back to the drawing board, and we just work on what we missed today.
How was your health right now?
Well, my knee's a lot better than it was last week, but other than that, it's good now.
Did the wind affect you today?
No, the slope on the field is a little different out here. It kind of goes up, kind of goes down, so we kind of had to adjust to that.
You had to play at Missouri where you stayed down, and you had to play today where you stayed down on the field. Are you
What's going on there? Where are you just making sure everything is okay before you get up and jog off?
Well, I don't just lay on the ground just to lay on the ground. You know, I feel something, and you know, I just want to make sure I'm good before I end up getting up and going to the sideline too. So
there was a play before that where you kind of broke on the scramble. Was there any hesitation to do that after last week? Or?
No.
So you seem to have that play down with Jerry Judy in the corner. When you're doing a pirouette or something else, and you flip to the other side of the defender. How does that work for you in practice or something?
Well, I mean, things like that, sometimes they happen, you know, and whatnot, but Jerry was on top of his guy, and I just thought I'd throw it to the open space. Judy made a good adjustment on that. He turned back outside and made the catch. So.
What was working on that long pass to the Waddle, I guess, kind of threw across the field a little bit? What just walk through that play?
I mean, that was a shot play, you know, and Waddle came across. Their safety poached, but he kind of poached too far over, and it kind of left Waddle open. It was more for Jerry Judy. That play was more for Jerry Judy, but you know, Waddle was open, so we ended up hitting him for a touchdown. I think he stepped on my leg, and then my knee it just buckled. That was it. Other than that, I was fine.
Where would you say your leadership's grown with this group of receivers as the season's gone on?
Well, I mean, it's more so what we do in practice. That's how you gain respect within our guys, you know, is what you can show them within practice. I don't do as much talking, you know, with them, but just being able to go out there executing and whatnot, them understanding that, okay, this is what I have, this is what I got to do, and if we all work together to do it, it's gonna work for the benefit of us.
What's the confidence level knowing that you have so many weapons on offense, and especially the wide receivers, the starters there that can literally stretch the field anywhere on the football field? Oh,
I mean, I'm very confident, you know, but it makes it more fun. You know, things are so much more fun when you don't only have one person to go to. When you have guys at running back that can make plays for you as well. I mean, this is just fun out here.
What is this offense doing now that it wasn't doing maybe a month? I mean, it looks like it's been effective all year to us, but I mean, what do you see that this offense is doing better now than maybe a month ago?
You know, I'm not too sure. You know, there's always something that we need to work on, and in order for us to find that out, we got to go back to the drawing board. We need to watch film on what we need to do better, and we go from there.
How big is this win not only for you guys, but for Coach?
All right, that was your quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. What's up, everybody? It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks again for joining us. You can catch all our coverage back on BamaInsider.com. You can watch the full videos on YouTube of Nick Saban and Tua Tagovailoa. Also got a video rolling out of Henry Ruggs, Quinnen Williams, and Isaiah Buggs. I'll post that probably tomorrow on YouTube. Nick Saban will do his press conference, his weekly press conference on Tuesday. He'll also speak after a quarterbacks club meeting on Monday, so we'll get those videos posted on YouTube. So a quick quarterback club meeting. Follow up kind of like a media scrum on Monday, and then his usual press conference we move to Tuesday. We will have practice availability, I believe, Tuesday and Wednesday. Open week as Alabama needs to get a couple guys healed from being nicked up, as Nick Saban said, and then the following week Alabama will play LSU. There's no time set for Alabama and LSU. From some more experienced reporters in the realm, everybody says it's going to be an evening game, probably that 7 o'clock double header window on CBS. It's not official yet, but looks like Alabama and LSU will be playing in the evening. We'll definitely keep you posted. And you can follow our Twitter at Bama Insider for instant updates, and then all our normal coverage back on BamaInsider.com. If you're interested to become a premium subscriber, please email me at Kyle@BamaInsider.com. I always wanted to give you guys our friends at HungryHawaiian.net a shout out. They have some fantastic selection of Hawaiian snacks, and they're good people. They sent me out a huge goodie box to try out. These are their cookies that you guys are checking out right now on the screen. Got chocolate chip, macadamia nut, classic coconut. Hold the calls. I'll get to the calls in just a minute. They got a ton of stuff, and we actually, Tony Scalis and I, during our trip, we took a bunch of Hawaiian snacks up to Knoxville, and let me tell you, the drive up to Knoxville was brutal. But they have they got dry mango, they got gummies, they got fish jerky. The fish jerky is awesome. I'm a huge jerky guy, and really like what HungryHawaiian.net is putting out. So please give them a follow, give them some business, and tell them Kyle at BamaInsider.com sent you. All right, so as we always do, I wanted to show you guys. Let's go over the offensive stats for this game. Alabama beats Tennessee 51-21. You're looking at the offensive stats from the game. How about Josh Jacobs? He's running angry. He's running like the best running back on the team, right? 12 attempts, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe he has 8 touchdowns on the year. We'll look at the overall stats later on this week. 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson got a good, healthy dose in the second half, 13 carries, 60 yards. Najee Harris ran for quiet 9 carries, 50 yards, and Damien Harris, who didn't start for, we're not sure why he didn't start. I guess it was an internal issue. Had a season low 3 carries for 12 yards. Kind of disappointed to see that from a leader like Damien Harris. Tua Tagovailoa, 19-of-29, 306 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, quarterback rating of 199.7. Jalen Hurts, 2 of 3, 21 yards with that pick 6 that he threw. It's kind of interesting. Jalen threw a pick 6 against Tennessee, and Tua threw a pick 6 against Tennessee last year, if you guys remember. Receiving-wise, Jerry Jeudy, 5 receptions, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Irv Smith, who I got on my fantasy football team, 5 receptions, 50 yards with 1 touchdown. Jalen Waddle, what a fantastic season he's having for a true freshman. 4 receptions, 117 yards, 29.3 average and a touchdown. Henry Ruggs doing his thing, 3 receptions, 65 yards. As you can see to the top right of the screen, Alabama had 545 yards of total offensive yards, 5 penalties for 36 yards. Check that out. Alabama's defense held Tennessee to 31 rushing yards. Remember at the beginning of the game, Tennessee had like negative 26 yards, negative 22 yards. Their backup quarterback he didn't look too bad. Came in 9 of 15, 164 yards. What I really liked about this game was Alabama's red zone offense. They had 7 opportunities, came in with 6 touchdowns. I think we all talked about how they needed to improve in that aspect. So good to see that. Looking at the defensive stats now. Deonte Thompson, once again, leads the team in tackles, 7 total tackles. Shaheem Carter, 5 tackles. Xavier McKinney. Kind of interesting stat. Deonte Thompson, Shaheem Carter, and Xavier McKinney each had a forced fumble in this game. Pretty cool. LeBron Ray thought he played excellent in starting over Raekwon Davis, who was sitting out after throwing punches against Missouri. LeBron Ray is going to be big time. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Dylan Moses had 4 tackles. Quinnen Williams got to the quarterback. Seemed like a lot. Only had 1 quarterback hurry, which is interesting because it seemed like he was like chasing down the quarterback a bunch this game. 4 tackles. Savion Smith, 3 tackles. I don't know. Sometimes Savion looks like he's playing really well, and then sometimes it looks like he's susceptible to, like that he has trouble covering receivers at times. I don't know. He's like kind of up and down. What do you guys think? Keaton Anderson, 3 tackles. That's interesting to see. Isaiah Buggs gets another sack. I believe he has 8 sacks on the season, which is pretty incredible. As we look at more stats, this is Tua Tagovailoa's passing directional chart. Notice he didn't throw to the left side of the field that much, over 20 or over 10 yards. I think that's the first time we've seen that. And as Saban said that the game was really windy, and then Tua said that the slope on Tennessee's field, he wasn't used to it. That was interesting because there was a couple passes that Tua threw that were really far off his receivers. We haven't seen that from Tua at all. So maybe that affected him was the slope. Didn't even think about that. 3 of 4 across the middle, over 20 yards, grade out of 73.9. That's very good, but that's low for his caliber. 1 of 2 to the outside right, 77 yards with a touchdown. Over the middle, there we saw some of his passes overthrown. And over the middle in 10 yards plus, he's fantastic. So this is by far his toughest game passing-wise across the middle of the field. I guess it was that slope, as he said. But between under 10 yards, he was still 4-7, so still effective. 61 yards. Kind of an interesting passing directional chart this game because there's a lot of low marks on this, especially for Tua. All right, next I'm going to show you the offensive grade outs. You're looking at the offensive grades. You've seen enough of the grade outs. You know how it works. Alex Leatherwood at right guard, 64.6. Ross Piersbacher, 68.7. Jonah Williams continues to play at a very high level, 85.2. Believe he was the highest player in Alabama. Yeah, he was. Jerry Jeudy, 70.8. And Pro Football Focus, what they do is they have former pro scouts, former coaches. They grade these players, and they get the grades turned out very quick. I mean, right away. And Rivals, who BamaInsider.com is an affiliate with, has a relationship with Pro Football Focus. That's how we're able to deliver the stats to you and the grades in a timely fashion. Deonte Brown getting his first start, 55.1, ways to go, but thought he played well for the most part in his first start. Henry Ruggs, 67.4. Tua Tagovailoa, I think this is one of his lowest grades of the season, 77.7. Still effective, as you know. I mean, he balled out 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards. He's actually thrown for over 300 yards in 3 consecutive games. Irv Smith, 69.2. Hal Hentage never grades out very high. They don't grade the time. He doesn't get a very high mark, but he does the dirty work. He makes downfield blocks. I mean, I've grown to really have a good respect for Hal Hentage. Jalen Waddle is a true freshman, 83.5. Always grading out high. These are the defensive grade outs. Patrick Surtain, 65.5. Surtain, it's actually Surtain. Surtain and Jalen Waddle have been playing a tremendous amount for a freshman. Surtain with a 65.8 grade out. Xavier McKinney, 69.1. Savion Smith, 61.2. It's a low grade. Mac Wilson looks like he struggled again, 51.3. You have to rewatch and really dissect what he did over these last 2 weeks, because we saw a lot of improvement against Missouri, and then I want to go back and really dissect what Mac Wilson did against Tennessee and kind of just get an overview of Mac Wilson through these first 8 weeks. What do you guys think about Mac Wilson's play thus far? Let me know in the comment box. Deontay Thompson, as we know, playing at a very high level. So is Isaiah Buggs. Shaheem Carter having a quiet, good season. Had a forced fumble. He has 2 interceptions this year, both for touchdowns. Dylan Moses, 56.9. We know he never grades out well, but he seems to still be effective this year. Quinnen Williams having a very, very strong year. 91.2, grade out. Christian Miller, 71.1. Anthony Jennings, 67.8. And those are your grades for Alabama and Tennessee. Wanted to give out some game balls. And I wanted to start out with giving a game ball to these 2 young men. These are photos Alabama sends us, the media after. How about the suit game with Jerry Jeudy and Tua? I mean, I love the white pants with the gray top from Tua, the black shirt, right? And then Jerry Jeudy balling out in the navy, the light gray, business-like. Suit game on point, huh? Okay. How about Josh Jacobs? Is it me, or does he look like the overall best running back on Alabama's team right now? Let me know in the comment box what you think about Josh Jacobs. Have some interesting stats on Jacobs. See if I can find him real quick. Josh Jacobs, get this, has more kickoff return yards, 371 kickoff return yards, than he does rushing yards, 277 this season. For his all-purpose yards total, 706 yards for Josh Jacobs. I believe he has 9 touchdowns. It's a big year for Josh Jacobs. Do you think he stays? I was talking to our team writer, Tony Sukalis, about this. Do you think Josh Jacobs stays for Alabama for next season, or do you think he heads off to the NFL? It's going to be a combine testing freak from what I hear. I don't know. Certainly balling out. I really like the play of him. He runs angry. Runs hard downhill. Alabama's defense, giving them a game ball. I mean, only giving up 31 yards of rushing against Tennessee. This team just continues to, to do work on defense. I mean, it's tough to score against this team. And they're out in the field a lot just because Alabama's putting so many points on the board. But defense is doing their thing. Still like what I see from the defense, and Tosh Lupoi and Pete Golden doing a great job in their first year movement-wise. Tosh being the first-year defensive coordinator. Pete Golding, inside linebackers coach. Also hear that Pete Golding makes a lot of the defensive calls. And then this young man, Jalen Waddle, having a fantastic year. Do you know Alabama has 3 receivers averaging over 20 yards per catch this year? Jerry Jeudy, his average is 25.1. Jalen Waddle's average is 21.8. And Devontae Smith right at 20. That's pretty incredible that Tua is able to spin the ball that well. And the thing that I really like about Jalen Waddle is his ability to adjust to the football. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on the show. Jalen Waddle, if you noticed, and Ruggs, and Judy, and Devontae Smith, all these guys, Tua is able to connect with these guys on deep balls. But these guys make some incredible downfield adjustments. And, hats off to those guys, but also Josh Gaddis doing a fantastic job with the wide receivers this year. He's doing a great job in his another first-year coach with Alabama, and he's certainly having a big impact. And also, though, those receivers, man, oh, man. Those receivers can certainly ball out, and I'm really happy for their success this year. All right, I want to take your calls. Line is now open, 205-686-3604. Want to talk about this squad. Want to talk about Alabama through the midway point. Alabama now number 1, 8-0 in the season. Next up, LSU. Think LSU gives Alabama the best game of the season? Let me know. All right. Hey, thank you very much for calling. Will you please turn down your speakers in the background before we get started?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hunter from Hartford, Alabama.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for calling. I appreciate you calling into the show. What you got?
Yeah, I tell you, you're talking about the game ball. I have to agree with you and give it to Josh Jacobs. When he came into Alabama, he was only a 3-star recruit, and look what he's able to do at Alabama, being probably the underdog as far as the running back position.
Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with his play, and every time he gets the football, he's obviously getting positive yards for Alabama, but I found that it was interesting that he has 371 yards of kick return yards, which actually his average actually leads the nation, believe it or not. So he's having a strong year. What else stood out for you against Tennessee?
Well, our defense did a lot better this week as far as I think they played with a little bit more intensity this week as they did, against Missouri. I think they were kind of I think the coaches were a little bit frustrated with how they played, and so they had a little bit to prove. I think Nick would probably be during the week telling the defense, "Hey, this is what you got. You're not going to win against LSU and Auburn." And I think they can come out with a little chip on their shoulder.
Was it? Do you have a good laugh seeing Butch Jones smoke cigars after the game?
My favorite part of the game was actually when they poured the water on him.
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
that was nice. I was happy for him, and it's just funny how the tables have turned this year. For him being coaching there to now, if you can't beat him, join him, I guess.
Yeah, he's what a tough position to be in. Last year coaching at Tennessee and the struggles that they had, and then stepping in with Alabama, and it takes a person of great character, right, to be able just to sit back and go back to Tennessee. I bet that was tough for him, and looked like how he was having a good time. So I was happy to see that. Anything else while you're on the show?
Oh, well, I tell you, another thing that I'm very impressed with about our play is our secondary. I was worried about them coming into this year, being the lack of depth, and they've just been sort of lights out. You've not seen too much of a struggle for them. You've seen, the first 2 games, Patrick Surtain, struggled a little bit, being a new player. But other than that, the secondary's been, by any account, been very good.
No, I certainly agree. I've really been impressed. We've talked about Shaheen Carter. We've talked about Deonte Thompson. Xavier McKinney, I think, is playing at a very high level, and I'm really happy to see that. I think where you see Xavier McKinney sometimes be the most effective is on the safety blitz, because he can fly in there and get to the quarterback. That's where he caused his fumble yesterday. Xavier McKinney certainly having a big season, but I appreciate the call. Please call in next time.
I got one more
go
question for you. What do you think about Purdue upsetting Ohio State?
Oh, last night I was watching that game, and I had followed the young man who's battling cancer, and what a story. And what a fighter! And they built the backstory on ESPN, and who thought that Purdue would be Ohio State besides Tyler, right? And watching that game last night and just seeing how much Purdue put on, Ohio State, it was all for Tyler. And I thought it was probably one of the best stories this year in college football. It was very emotional. I know the young man's going through a lot. I can't even imagine. I was glad to see him down on the sidelines. And Purdue really took it to Ohio State. You know, any given Saturday, anything can happen. But overall, I thought what a great story, and I'm really thinking and praying for Tyler. I mean, he's going through a lot, but the Boilermakers certainly rose up last night to take down Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State, they dropped 2 big games, in 2 consecutive seasons. I mean, last year lost to Iowa, and then this year losing to Purdue. And, anything can happen on college football Saturday.
Yeah, that was a good story. And you're right. That was a good story. And I'm happy for that kid and what they were able to do, kind of in the spirit of him. But I thought that I thought it was kind of funny. I've never been a big fan of Urban Meyer. And so anytime I can see him get beat, it's a good day for me.
All right. Good stuff, man. Appreciate the call. All right. Call-in line is open, 205-686-3604. Yeah, Ohio State goes down. So what's your college football top 4 look like? Rankings, they come out next Tuesday. I think this is let me introduce you. Rob in Colorado. Right? My boy Rob. Yeah, man. How you doing? Did you have a good Sunday?
Doing good, man. I'm watching the replay right now, Alabama, Tennessee, drinking a beer.
Good, good. What are you drinking?
I was drinking some New Belgium. Now I'm drinking some Modelo.
Okay. Oh, Modelo. Yeah, you got to have the lime. You got to have the lime or it doesn't count.
I got some lime right here. I picked up an 18-pack.
Oh, my goodness. So, Rob, fresh off a Modelo and a New Belgium, break it down, man. What'd you think of Bama and the Vols yesterday?
I feel like Josh Jacobs, man, he's really good. I mean, I think most of us don't even know how good he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so solid. He's so solid. He almost reminds me of if you could put Maurice Jones-Drew and what's the other guy? He played for the Saints for a long time. Sproles. If you could put them together, man, that's Josh Jacobs.
Hey, that's not a bad comparison. I like that.
Yeah.
He runs angry, man. He runs angry. He's fast. Hits a hole hard. Let me ask you this, Rob. Do you think, and this isn't a knock on Damien Harris. I have no idea what he did. Damien Harris is still a very effective football player. He's still the man at Alabama. But do you think you've seen any improvement from his junior to senior season? Or has he, I guess what I'm asking is, has he hit talent level? Has it maxed out for Damien Harris?
Wasn't he getting more carries last year to you? If I can remember, was he getting more carries?
Yeah, but as you know, there's so many mouths to feed on this team. We never see him get 20 carries. I mean, I think the most he's got this year is 15 or something like that. Yesterday he had 3 carries for 12. I know he's a little bit of trouble, but talent-wise, I mean, do you think he's going to be NFL ready?
I definitely think he's NFL ready. Maybe you do 2 factors. He was getting more carries last year, and he had Bradley Bozeman. Could that make a difference?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the curious case of Damien Harris. I'm not knocking him because
you know what though? You know what it is too, because Josh Jacobs was hurt all last year, and when he was in, he was not that effective.
He wasn't.
From what I can remember.
Yeah.
So Jacobs is so good. Najee Harris is so good. I think Brian Robinson is good. He just doesn't get a chance to run with the ones, man. Brian Robinson's a beast, dude.
Brian Robinson
is a bigger Josh Jacobs, if you ask me, and younger.
Brian Robinson, he is jacked. He is built up. He's swole. He's fast. If he can just wait until he gets his opportunity, Brian Robinson is going to do some major things at Alabama. What about Najee Harris? Sometimes on our message board, people are saying Najee, they like to see more from him. They feel someone even said he was a bust, which is completely ludicrous. Come on, did you see him jump over that dude?
Whoa,
he jumped off.
Who said he was a bust? My God.
Yeah, one of our subscribers on Bama Insider. And he jumped over, he hurdled the guy. Then he stiff armed this kid right into the dirt. Did you see that?
Dude, don't you love how they kill you in the air in the first half, and then the second half you got to deal with Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, and Brian Robinson running at you. Nobody is a bust. Not even Ford. Ford's a beast. They're freshmen.
Yeah,
come on, we don't have any busts. Crazy. Crazy.
Anything else, Rob? What else stood out for you? Now we're at the midway point. Alabama's 8-0. Is there anybody out there that could step up to the plate with Alabama? I mean, is this LSU game the one where we finally see somebody go toe-to-toe, round for round with Alabama?
LSU, I'm not impressed. 19 points, a bunch of field goals. You're not going to beat Bama with field goals, so you can get that crap out of here. Mississippi State, Auburn, they come to Tuscaloosa. You know, they'll get cleaned up real quick. Georgia, I'm not impressed. Georgia got to beat somebody. Georgia has not beaten anybody. Ohio State has not beaten anybody. NC State had no business. Who ranked them 16? NC State looked like trash. Like, why'd they even catch the plane over there, man? They're terrible. Or the bus or whatever. I guess Clemson, because they have a good passer and somewhat of a solid team to me, but their secondary is kind of weak, and Tua and company's going to exploit that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because as I look at the college football playoff picture, you have Clemson. We all know that at Clemson, Alabama, they just play each other all the time. Trevor Lawrence, it looks like he's doing a really good job. I got respect for him. Their defense is coming along. Then who else? I mean, LSU, we're about to find out. And I'm curious to see if a Michigan or a Notre Dame or an Oklahoma, how they would stack up against the Crimson Tide. And let me tell everybody this, right? So if Alabama is able to win out just by their location and their proximity to Dallas, Texas, Alabama would go to the Cotton Bowl as the number 1 seed. That's how it works. So the number 1 seed is by proximity, just to make sure that's clear with everybody. So you would potentially have Alabama playing the 4th seed if it works out that way. And Alabama could lose at any point. It's college football Saturday. But right now, the way this team is playing, they're only playing 2 quarters.
And you know what, man? Like, Jalen Hurts, he's kind of been up and down, man. But, like, if Tua gets hurt, Kyle, can he come in and win us games? Can he do it? I mean, he's done it for 2 years, but sometimes I'm a little iffy about him, man. I mean, because there's too much drop off, and you can't have Irv Smith and Jerry Jeudy and Waddle at level 10, and then Hurts comes in and he's passing the ball at level 6.
Oh man,
it's messing up the equilibrium, man. It's not going to be right.
Man, that's everybody's worst nightmare, right? I mean,
yeah.
And Tua's got to keep that fake leg duct taped on, right? He's got to keep that fake leg duct taped. Hey, Rob, I got to take another call, man. I always love catching up with you. Please call in again.
All right, hey, real quick. Should Josh Jobe replace Savion? And I'll answer it. I'll listen to it on the live.
Hey, Rob, always a pleasure, man. Enjoy that Modelo.
Okay.
All right, man. Rob from Colorado, one of my favorite callers. Line is open, 205-686-3604. Josh Jobe's getting a lot of playing time. He's a very good true freshman. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
It's Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? Thank you so much for calling in. I always appreciate catching up with you. How was your Sunday?
Oh, it's great as usual. Well, Steelers didn't play, so they couldn't make me mad today.
So what's up? You're on the show. Go ahead.
Did you catch Marcus Spears on SEC Nation Saturday morning saying Ohio State he would put Ohio State in his top 4 was Ohio State #1 and Alabama 2 and
oh my goodness.
LSU, and I think he threw Clemson or Notre Dame in there. Somebody has Clemson or Notre Dame in there somewhere.
I mean,
and of course he was. So sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to buy into the Big Ten, until they really step up to the plate and do something. I mean, I got respect for Ohio State, but the way they played last night, that was terrible. They couldn't tackle. Lost on the road to an emotional Purdue team. Does anybody really take Michigan seriously? Right? Does anybody take Notre Dame serious? Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it. I think Clemson, we know they've been there, but who else is there?
Another thing, I guess they're all trying to take seriously. But Tebow was just looking at Spears like, "Are you insane? You have Ohio State over Alabama in your poll, and you're trying to base it on body of work." And Ohio State had this big win and over Penn State and a whiteout. They were one time trying to say that TCU win was some kind of marquee win for Ohio State, but TCU is continue to lose and look bad. So they're not saying that anymore. And of course, now Penn State just keeps barely surviving week in and week out. So it's like, where's Ohio State's marquee win for you to say that? Tim Tebow was looking at him like he was absolutely insane. Hopefully and then Ohio State politely goes and lay an egg yesterday in their game.
What do you think about this matchup upcoming with Alabama taking on LSU in Baton Rouge and Death Valley?
This game tells me only one thing. Of course, I believe Alabama is going to win. It's how much they win by. It's going to tell me, okay, if they blow out LSU and score 40 points plus on them on that defense and that team, it's the best offense in the history of college football. In the bar none.
Yeah.
If they do that, it's the best offense in the history of college football. Because that will be the toughest defense that they will play all season in the toughest environment against anyone for the rest of the season. No other team is going to come anywhere near comparing to that environment and that defense. So, and if they blow that out, you might as well start putting the letters ALA on the trophy because the season will be over. Alabama's going to unless barring Tua, and the Heisman right now is between Tua and Tua's knee.
I like that. He's
that's the only thing stopping Tua.
Oh yeah, I know. I always it's gonna forever haunt me. When I looked at the preseason Heisman odds one time, and it was 15-2 on Tua, and I never took it. I'll probably always look back and be sad about that because the odds on him are just like, it's pretty incredible right now. I have to actually look at the new odds, but he's still a landslide favorite. I agree with you about LSU, and that'll be their toughest game by far. As we look at the schedule and as we look at this team through 8 weeks, is their toughest opponent that Alabama has played? Is that Texas A&M? And what does that say about their schedule?
It is Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is a legit team against that Alabama beat. It's amazing when Clemson barely survives A&M with the much help from the referee. A&M was just this great tough opponent, and then this shining jewel on Clemson's schedule. When Alabama blows them out, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Alabama hasn't played anyone. When it was Clemson, oh wow, look what Clemson they survived Texas A&M.
Yeah.
When Alabama blows out Texas A&M, Alabama still hasn't played anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
A&M is a legit team.
And I'm kind of afraid if Alabama blows out LSU, they're going to say, well, LSU wasn't good, right? And you got to look at this is what fans, I think a lot of fans are forgetting. LSU has had a pretty good schedule. They beat Auburn at home when they were ranked. They beat Georgia at home. They beat another opponent at home as well. It's skipping my mind right now, but they got home field advantage. Ed Orgeron, it would be his Super Bowl to beat Nick Saban, right? It would be LSU Super Bowl to beat Alabama. And I don't know. I want to see if that defense has a shot to stop Alabama, because right now what we've seen is that nobody in college football that has a shot to stop these guys.
Again, stopping Alabama at this point is keeping them 30 points. 30, they only score 30. That's stopping them because the defense has been it's often so prolific. It's like Michael Jordan. You stopping him is he gets 30 points in that game instead of 50. then you quote unquote stopped him. It's still a great game by ordinary standards, but it's below his average. If they hold Alabama below the average, it's still 30 points. LSU's not getting 30 points out of this offense. With the offense I saw last night, this offense not going to get 30 points on Alabama's defense.
No,
so
I think
if you give Alabama 30, it's over.
Yeah. Hey, well, I appreciate the call. In anything else before I move on to a new call?
No, that's it. I just enjoyed Ohio State's loss, and I hope Tebow rubs it in Marcus Spears' face next weekend. What did you say? Okay,
right.
guys.
Hey, thank you so much for calling. I sincerely appreciate the call tonight. Have a good rest of your Sunday. We'll catch up with you soon. All right, call-in line is open. 205-686-3604. Appreciate the call-ins. I appreciate the support on the show. I got another call. Nice. All right, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thank you for calling. Where are you calling from and who I'm on the line with?
I'm calling from Austin. This is Curtis.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Curtis. I appreciate the call from Austin. How is your Sunday today?
It's good. How about yours?
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the call-in, as I said earlier. So you're on the show. What you got for us?
Hey, how good is that offensive line playing, allowing only 5 sacks in 8 games?
You know what? The offensive line, when we look at those grades on Pro Football Focus, we don't see a lot of high marks. However,
I know, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is.
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I thought the 2014 offense was one of the best ones I've ever seen, but this one, by far, blows them away.
Yeah, and I think Jonah Williams, the play of Jonah Williams is remarkable. I mean, to think that he could come back for next season, I mean, I just don't see it because he's playing at such a high level. You position him next with Ross Piersbacher at center, who this is his first season playing center, but he's doing an excellent job. And then you have the 2 young pups on the outside in Jedrick Wills and Alex Leatherwood, who are getting better and better. It was interesting to see Saban swap out Lester Cotton for Deonte Brown. And as Saban said...
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday.
What did you think of Deonte Brown?
I thought he did good. I mean, he stood out to me, and I wondered why Cotton didn't start, and I heard Nick Saban say it was because of his ankle. But
yeah, I think he said his ankle, but I think he's also wanted to see more performance and production from Lester Cotton, right?
Yeah,
Lester
that's what I was thinking also.
He's a senior already in this program, and I thought he's had some good games, but probably not playing up to Nick Saban's standard, and wanted to see what Deonte Brown could do.
That's exactly what I thought as the season developed. I thought, man, he's just not coming along like we thought he was, but that backup played pretty good yesterday.
And Deonte Brown, last year, he was way overweight. Really struggled with, it seemed like his weight issue, but it seems like he continues to make strides to better himself, which is great for Alabama. And to see him get a start, that's a big statement and a big testimony to how hard Deonte Brown is working behind the scenes. Because last year, I wouldn't have said he would have started a game this year, but to see him start over Lester Cotton is pretty impressive for Deonte Brown.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Roll Tide.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. Yeah, Deonte Brown got his first start yesterday against Tennessee. Neyland Stadium, I got to tell you, is a pretty nice venue, pretty good setup. All right, thank you for calling in. I appreciate the call-ins. This is Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Austin Gillum. I'm in Ballinger, Texas.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. How's your Sunday going?
Hey, it's going wonderful. I hope yours is going just as good.
Thank you, man. You're on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'm just so amazed by the way Tua has just been so consistent in what he's been able to do. It's just incredible to watch.
Yeah, it really is. I've never seen a quarterback like this in college football. I mean, straight up. I mean, the way he's able to take over games and deliver the football, especially over the 20-yard mark, is fantastic. I mean, sure, he has the 5 stars on the outside, but you got to get him the football. And
yeah,
I mean, it's amazing watching him connect on these deep balls. It's like every single time a home run hitter comes up, he hits a home run, right? It's like, it's incredible.
Yeah. Like, I honestly, like, in the LSU game, I kind of seen how good they are on the defense and everything. I was kind of starting to be, like, a little iffy, like, oh, this is probably going to be a close game. But, I mean, seeing them closely, their offense is just a little iffy to me. I think our defense can just shut them down. And I think, honestly, personally, Tua, I think he might have 1, 2, maybe even 3 Heisman moments in that game.
Yeah, I could certainly see it. I think what's crazy is we haven't even touched the surface of how good Tua is, right? I mean, he hasn't even played in the fourth quarter this season. Can you believe that? We're to the midway point of this season, and he has not thrown a pass in the fourth quarter. Like, I've never seen something like that before. And then after the game, how well he carries himself. You saw the interview, him talking to the media.
Oh, yeah.
He exemplifies leadership on the field, off the field, represents himself very well. And, man, he can throw the football. Did you see on social media, we posted it, Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. He
loves what he's doing.
Yeah, he hit him up. I thought that was awesome. What a compliment.
Yeah.
Really cool, man. I mean, imagine just being in Tua's shoes and you just check your phone, 283 messages, and Russell Wilson, what's up, Tua? Anything, just providing mentorship. I mean, my goodness. Anything else that stood out yesterday for you against Tennessee?
Well, just a little bit of consistency on the defensive side. Like, other than that, there's a little few, tweaks there that you might need to do in the secondary. But I think our linebackers and our D-line is starting to come together. It's just a little bit on the secondary that we need to do a little bit fixing. But other than that, things are starting to come together week by week.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Well, thank you so much for the call in. Please call again next time. Brought some good stuff to the show. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Call-in line is open. 205-686-3604. If you're afraid to call in, don't be. Call in. It's your show. It's all good. Come as you are. Who cares? Let's just talk about Alabama football. 205-686-3604 is the number. Got a caller. All right. Good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? It's Antonio from Huntsville again.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in. How was your day today?
It was all right, man. Watched NFL game. A little disappointed in my Eagles. Blew a 17-6 lead, but it is what it is, man.
Hey, man, but you got your Crimson Tide, so you're already spoiled enough, man.
Oh yeah.
What you got, man?
In terms of the game, we played pretty good overall on all 3 sides of the ball. I think on the defense, what's his name? Savion Smith.
Yeah.
I think on a couple of plays, it seemed like Jawan Jennings was, kind of getting a step on him, kind of beating him inside. It just on his side, I guess it's like getting more reps in, since Trayvon Diggs is probably out for the rest of the year. So I think it's just repetition with him, but still, I think LSU might look on the film, try to pick on him a little bit. Hopefully not, but, hopefully he's up to the task. They probably will, most likely, because we like to play man-to-man, majority of the time. So I just hope he's up to the task. And defensive line, I think I called a couple of weeks ago talking about how we don't seem like we're getting athletic. We don't have no athleticism on the line. But, man, Quentin Williams, he changed my whole mind. Because it seemed like we in the whole Tennessee game, guarantee, he looked like he ain't had no time back there, like 2 seconds the most. It would seem like I was just really impressed, with overall how the defense was. But like I said, Savion Smith, I just need him to be up to the task. When they get, some teams get ready to pick on him, because I think it's coming for him.
You know what? It's going to be an interesting game for Savion Smith because he does have some background. I believe he went to LSU for a minute or two.
Yep.
So imagine, LSU's probably licking their chops to get to him. And the thing with Savion Smith is I think he's had tough times this year, right? I mean, we saw him struggle against Ole Miss. We saw him struggle at times yesterday with some bigger wide receivers. But the thing is, Savion can also make plays, right? I mean, he has 3 interceptions on the season. So if I'm an opposing coach, I'm probably going after Savion, but I also know that the young man can make some plays. So pick your poison. You know, you want to throw the freshman on the other side, Patrick Surtain. Good luck. And you're also going to have Shaheem Carter, who's very capable out there, and the two veterans in the back, Deonte and Xavier. So secondary is coming through, and like Rob in Colorado said earlier, I mean, Josh Jobe has been getting his feet wet as well. So he's another true freshman who's played a lot this year. And getting to the athleticism on the defensive line, one player who's bringing that athleticism, if they let him on the field more, is LeBron Ray.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron Ray?
I went to school with him, actually.
Man.
Because he Huntsville area, he's from Madison, so I went to school with him. And, man, I just seen him like when I was on the football team, when he just athletic. I'm like, man, when he get to Alabama, man, he gonna be a difference, man.
and the athleticism, I don't know if you've seen, we posted on Twitter and on our website earlier this summer, is Isaiah Buggs playing basketball. Have you seen that young man hoop? Yeah, I mean, he's a point guard. It's crazy. He's got skills. Hey, I'm serious. Go look, type in Isaiah Buggs plays basketball after this call and go check him out. You will be shocked at the moves that he's got. Bugs can move. Yeah, he can move. 8'6", man.
Surprised me. I didn't know he had a basketball background, but I'll check that out.
I'll take him as my guard. Right now. Isaiah Buggs doing it. Anything else while you're on the show, man?
That's all, man. Just hope the offense be ready to, put up some points, and we head to Baton Rouge.
All right, man.
A couple of weeks.
I hope you have a very productive Monday, man, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, take it easy. Call-in line is open. Call in, rap with me, 205-686-3604. I'm all about being positive, too. Love the calls are positive. No introduction needed. Mike in Kentucky, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Kyle. How are you tonight?
You and Rob in Colorado have reached a status where you're a normal caller. You just come right into the show. Mike in Kentucky, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite callers. What's up, Mike?
Hey, man. Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered if they'd have brought Manning back.
He was at the game. Did you know that? I was looking through photos on USA Today, and Peyton Manning was at the game yesterday.
Was he? That's cool.
And he probably left after the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised at the O-line grades you posted. I thought they did a great job yesterday as a unit. I would have gave them the best grade out of all the units.
I thought they did well, too. I was kind of surprised at those grades. I mean, what did you think of the play of Deonte Brown, who came in as the first start?
Well, I really didn't watch him individually, to tell you the truth, but I just thought as a whole, the O-line, as long as they keep Tua standing up, man, I'm good.
And there was a couple times where Tua had all day to throw. I mean, all day to throw.
Exactly.
And what's beautiful about Tua is how
protected.
Oh, yeah, and I love how he goes through his progression. It's like, does that guy need a touchdown? Does that guy need a touchdown? Oh, Jerry Jeudy needs to get to 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about Damien Harris' little, issue that he might have had with, for whatever reason it might be. But you could see Josh Jacobs is emerging as a beast. That guy runs with a purpose.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't really look for a big hole. Najee tends to look for the big play too much. He's trying to get lateral when he's a monster. He ought to just, if you can only get 3 yards, get 3 yards,
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'd like to see Najee do some more north and south because he's got such a big body, and I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to physically match up with him when he's coming downhill at you. He also
looks like a Derrick Henry clone to me.
Perfect, Mike. That's exactly who he reminds me of as well. I mean, he's big, he's strong. The hurdling thing is a cool feature, but I mean, he's taking his feet off the ground. I mean, if he just runs straight and can get past defenders, I mean, because Najee can go. I mean, he's fast. It just takes him a little bit. It takes him a little bit of time. I don't think he has the acceleration that Damien and Josh have, but I mean, Najee's a big beast who can go. What are your thoughts about Brian Robinson? You like him as well?
Oh, yeah, he's an up-and-comer, too. He'll probably be the number 2 guy on the depth chart next year if the boy from Oklahoma goes pro. I mean, it's going to be a 3-horse race to the wire next year to see who starts.
Yeah, I'm
Jacobs and Najee and Anderson. That's a 3-horse race, you know.
Can you imagine when it's just Brian Robinson and Najee Harris? Those are your running backs.
Yeah, they'll grind you into a fine powder by the end of the fourth quarter for sure.
Definitely.
What about LSU? That Tiger's going to be missing a tooth. I guess everybody knows that their big signal caller and stud middle linebacker, one of the best pass rushers in the league, is going to have to sit out the first half.
Yeah, and that was a crap call, to be honest. I mean, I didn't like that.
I think it was too. I thought it was really weak, but I'll take it.
Not
that I'm worried about it, but
yeah, I know. I like to see the two heavyweights play at their, at the max potential.
Full strength.
I mean, did you see the hit? I mean, what are we coming to in football? I mean, it was like there was no helmet to helmet.
Put dresses on him.
Dude, I'm serious. It was I guess they're gonna try to appeal this. And that's going to be interesting to see if they can appeal and get it reversed. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I guess we'll have to keep tabs on that. But I don't know. I didn't like that call. And even
I think
Mac
you're
Wilson,
right. That was probably the weakest targeting call of it I can remember seeing.
Yeah, me too. Didn't like the call. Mike, did you see Mike Bernier, the new punter for Alabama, came out, hit 2 punts each for 41 yards?
A 41-yard kick looks awesome at this point in the season.
Right? You're like, 41 yards, yes! And, I mean, it's not what Alabama fans are accustomed to. But
no, we're used to 50-yarders, but I'll take a 41-yarder at this point. But Bama's proven kickers are practically meaningless.
Yeah, it's a big step back from J.K. Scott, but the walk-on comes in, hits 2 punts for 41 yards, crowd goes crazy for Alabama. It's like, and Skylar DeLong, I mean, poor dude. He's coming off that 12-yard punt, doesn't, loses his job. And I don't think he's lost it for sure. I mean, that's going to probably, we're going to have to see what happens in the coming weeks. But I think Alabama has a new punter for all we've seen, which is a good thing because it looks like that kid just gets out there and does his job. Anything else, Mike, while you're on the show?
Well, the only thing I wish about the LSU game is I wish it was next week, because we're just clicking on all cylinders right now. I mean, I sometimes a bye week's not a good thing. Sometimes you come out flat, but, both teams have a bye week, so I guess I'll just have to wait. But if I had my ruthers, I'd rather see the game next Saturday.
Yeah, I'm probably in that same boat, Mike. I appreciate the call, and thank you so much for calling. Keep calling in, Mike. You're always always a pleasure to call in, man. I hope you have a great Monday.
All right, thank you.
Take it easy. Call-in line is open, 205-686-3604. Alabama will take on LSU. I said this earlier in the show. There's no time that has been set for Alabama and LSU. We'll keep you posted on that. Expecting it to be in the evening. Guess it's been like that, for several years now. So anticipating an evening game. Game will be on CBS. Look for potentially a 7 o'clock kick. Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com. Email is Kyle@BamaInsider.com. Thank you so much for calling into the show. Line is still open. Stay on the line with you guys for a few more minutes. 205-686-3604. Got great coverage for you on BamaInsider.com. 10 things we learned from Alabama and Tennessee. I got some 3 observations. That stuff is premium for our premium subscribers. If you're curious about being a premium subscriber, head on over to BamaInsider.com and look for the free 30-day trial. Email me at Kyle@BamaInsider.com if you have any questions. Good evening. Thank you for calling. This is Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Mike from Springville again.
How you doing, Mike? Good evening.
Just wanted to call and talk to you again this week. I enjoy your show every week.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you had a great Sunday, by the way.
I did. I just a couple of thoughts. I mean, going into the game, looking at Tennessee, I felt like, and obviously Jeremy Pruitt's comical halftime remarks. Probably, I don't know if anybody caught that.
What did he say? Can you remind us? I missed it.
Yeah, going into halftime, they asked him what can he do to slow Alabama down, and he said he needed another recruiting cycle. So he openly admitted, and then I think in his post-game conference, he said, look at their sidelines and look at our sideline. There's a difference. So I think he was realistic about his expectations, and the game went about how I thought it would. What just continues to impress me about this team is just week in, week out, and you can have the talking heads complain about our schedule, but I don't think anybody went into this week thinking, oh, Ohio State was playing somebody this week, you know. So the consistency this team lays down every week is, you know, is historical at this point. I mean, you know, I think we're witnessing something historical this season, but, you know, going in, looking even forward to LSU, I think the challenge here is unique is that, you know, it's going to be probably the most physical team that we see this year. I mean, it's the most physical game I think they play every year, and it's going to be about manning up. Now, unlike maybe since Texas A&M, LSU probably has the most athletes Alabama's played, whereas Tennessee probably had some of the fewest. So, and they're mostly on the defensive side of the ball, but you know, if that player coming back from LSU comes back in the halftime, I doubt he'll see Tua.
Yeah,
that's kind of my thoughts about the game going in. I don't want to jinx it or brag or you know act like they're unbeatable, but I think that's the sentiment shared across national sentiment is when you look at ESPN and it's just or any talk show you talk to other than just our local shows where you got to go get in-depth Alabama talk because it's a foregone conclusion that they're in another league. So it's almost like they're boycotting talking about Alabama. But I think there's a clear separation between Alabama and every other team in the country through 8 games through the season. I've not seen. You know, maybe Clemson can, you know, has got a defense and a decent arm, but you know, as far as a complete team, you know, if you shut ETN down, their running back, and put the game on their freshman quarterback, I haven't seen enough from him that he's got what it takes to beat Alabama. And I think week after week, I'll be surprised if we can get to the end of the season with maybe other than Clemson undefeated. So it'll be anybody's ball game who gets in that Final Four.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think when we look at the college football kind of elite in which teams might present challenges for Alabama later down the road, you know, I certainly look at it would be interesting to see what a team like Oklahoma could do, to see if they could match the scoring pound for pound with Alabama. I don't think they have the defense to stop Alabama. That's the thing. I think they could score some points potentially, but you know, you gotta have an incredible defense to be able to match up with this Alabama offense. And is there an incredible defense out there? I don't think that there is.
I think outside of the SEC, you know, maybe Clemson's built, maybe Ohio State, but I still, when I look on the hoof, pound for pound, I mean, a team like Oklahoma, Ohio State, compared to their conferences, have more speed, but not necessarily the big guys. I mean, the trenches. I mean, I don't see a Quentin Williams on the defensive line at Oklahoma, or even, you know, I guess maybe Bosa with his injury, but I never really saw much from him before his injury that made me want to trade him for 92 anyway.
You know who a lot of people say their defense is could potentially compare. I haven't watched them enough, so maybe you guys have to tell me this, is Michigan's defense.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, there again, if you want to talk about competition, I mean, you're talking apples and oranges. I mean, and the Big Ten just doesn't, from team to team, have the offensive line of scrimmages to be compared to the. So, I mean, I don't think that even Alabama stats are so misleading. You get up 21 points. You know, everybody goes through a 2-minute offense. So, you know, at that point, everybody's just Hail Marys, you know, quick, trying to score. So it's a different kind of defensive pressure. It's a different game set than you're up 7-7 playing ball control. The field, you know, you're battling for field position. You know, Alabama doesn't play that kind of game anymore. It's more just, you could tell that Tennessee and Jimmy Pruitt, both of them said, we want to get out of here with as few injuries as possible in the second half. And I don't know that LSU will ever concede that, but it was clear Tennessee did.
Yeah, no. It's that game, Alabama and LSU, highly anticipated. It's almost here. I appreciate the call, and thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Thank you, Kyle. Bye-bye.
Call line is open. Take a couple more calls. 205-686-3604. Who out there can match up with Alabama? Hearing Clemson a lot on the comment box. I don't know. I've yet to see anybody who I think can match up with these guys, especially the speed. I mean, who's going to catch Jalen Waddle? Do you know Henry Ruggs? I think it was against Missouri on a play was called back. He hit 24 miles an hour. Henry Ruggs, 24 miles an hour. If he can probably get to 25, right? I mean, that's an incredible burst of speed from a wide receiver, right? 24 miles an hour. My goodness. Henry Ruggs fast. Jalen Waddle's fast. Jerry Judy's fast. All these guys are burners. Then the offensive line, I mean, they're doing their thing. Oh, this Alabama team is going to be tough to keep up with through the next half of the college football season. Good stuff tonight. I appreciate all the call-ins. Really fun catching up with you guys. I will be back. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back because Alabama doesn't have a game this weekend. So we might do something Sunday. We might, I might take the week and kind of reflect and, think about some new ideas for the show. I appreciate all the calls and all the comments in the comment box, as I always do towards the end of the show. Thank you to our men and women in the United States military, past or present. Certainly appreciate what you do for this great country. Great honor and, really, really grateful for everything that you do for us. Tuscaloosa, it's been a wonderful place, and I'm really grateful to be here. Never thought that I'd be having a call-in show from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Had a great time in Knoxville. Thank you to the people of Knoxville, Tennessee. Treated us with nothing but class on our way out there, and pretty cool to check out Neyland Stadium and knock out another stadium on our SEC tour. If you have calls or comments and you don't get on the show, you can always email me at kyle@bamainsider.com. Our website is bamainsider.com. That's where we keep all our content. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for watching the show, whether you're checking in from New Zealand. So we got a follower from New Zealand, South Africa even, from Hawaii, from Brooklyn, right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Got a lot of family watching back in New Mexico. So wherever you're from, thank you so much for the support. Have a productive week. Have a good start. Be good people out there. Be good to each other. I will catch you guys next time. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is Kyle Henderson signing off for the BamaInsider.com live stream. Andrew Bone will be back sometime this week to talk recruiting, and hope to catch up with you guys soon. Be good people. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys have a great week. So long.